10 Marvel comics that could easily spark a new hit video game. Number 10, Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, 2011-2012. The Deadpool video game from 2013 was super fun and really captured the character well, so it totally deserves a sequel. Lots of superheroes are getting new games. Spider-Man even has 3, so it's definitely Deadpool's turn again. A game based on Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe would be wild. It'd be full of crazy action and funny over-the-top fights where Deadpool takes down big names like the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and even the Watcher. The story would be super weird in a cool way, kind of like how Deadpool messes with reality and talks to the audience. He could even joke about the people who made the game. There would be sneaky parts and big battles so players could choose how they want to fight. Since Deadpool is more popular than ever, now's the perfect time to bring him back in a new game that proves he's just as awesome as Spider-Man. Number 9, New Mutants number 25, 2022. A New Mutants video game would be awesome, and mostly because of one character, Magic. She's super powerful and really interesting, which makes her the perfect hero for her own game, kind of like Heavenly Sword or Devil May Cry. The game could take players into Limbo, a scary, magical place full of monsters and dark magic. You'd get to fight all kinds of creepy enemies, giant bosses, and use Magic's cool soul sword and teleporting powers to explore the world. The story from New Mutants number 25 would be a great starting point. It has Magic going up against the Goblin Queen, Madeline Pryor, in a huge battle to control Limbo. Players would get to feel like they're in the middle of an epic showdown, with lots of action and emotion. Since Magic has a complicated past and a deep connection to Limbo, the game could also have tough choices that change what happens to her and her friends. It'd be a mix of action, adventure, and feelings, all wrapped into one magical game. Number 8, Daredevil, Born Again, 1986. Since Daredevil is really popular again thanks to his Disney Plus show, now would be the perfect time for a video game based on the Born Again story. In the game, players could explore Hell's Kitchen, sneak around dark alleys, and fight bad guys while trying to stop Kingpin and figure out the mystery behind all the trouble. It could play kind of like Assassin's Creed, with a mix of sneaky moves and awesome fights, just like in the Batman Arkham games. Daredevil's super senses would help players spot danger and find secret paths. The story is super emotional, with Matt Murdock, Daredevil, going through some really hard times, so the game would be full of powerful moments. Friends like Karen Page and Foggy Nelson could pop up for cool side quests and add more heart to the story. Big scenes, like when Daredevil comes back after his home is destroyed, would make the game feel even more epic, with Daredevil being more popular than ever. This kind of game would totally be a hit. Number 7, Civil War, 2006-2007. Injustice, Gods Among Us was a big hit for DC, and Marvel could totally do something similar with its Civil War story. In this game, players would pick a side, Team Iron Man or Team Captain America, and each side would have different heroes with cool powers and fighting moves. It'd be like an epic superhero fighting game where every character plays a little differently. The story would be a huge part of the game, not just the battles. The heroes are split because the government wants them to register and follow rules, and not everyone agrees. That makes for some awesome and emotional fights. The game could even let players make choices that change what happens next, like choosing who to fight or what side to stick with. That way, you could play the game more than once and get different endings depending on the choices you made. It would be super exciting and full of action, just like the comic. Number 6, Marvel Zombies, 2023. If games like Marvel Rivals and Call of Duty Zombies have taught us anything, it's that multiplayer games are super fun, and Marvel Zombies would be the perfect way to mix superheroes and spooky zombie action. Picture this, a huge battle where players pick Marvel heroes or villains with cool powers and try to be the last one alive in a world taken over by zombie versions of superheroes. But here's the twist. If a player gets knocked out, they turn into a zombie and start chasing the others. It would get harder and scarier as the match goes on, kind of like The Last of Us, but with Marvel characters. Each match would feel different, with zombie hordes coming out of nowhere and crazy battles happening all over. Plus, the game could include fun, creepy versions of famous Marvel stories, turning everything fans know into something brand new and exciting. It would be the perfect mix of teamwork, survival, and superhero chaos. Number 5, Marauders, 2019-2022. Imagine a pirate video game, but with X-Men style superpowers. That's what a Marauders game could be. In this game, players would join a team of mutant pirates sailing around the world, and even into space, on cool missions to save other mutants, battle bad guys, and protect their home. Their base would be the living island of Krakoa, a magical place where mutants live in peace, and it would also help players travel fast and rest between adventures. The game would be packed with awesome sea battles, wild powers like teleporting and moving stuff with your mind, and tons of exploring across oceans and dangerous lands. You could play as one of the crew members led by Captain Kate Pryde and take on different jobs during the missions. It'd be like Sea of Thieves, but with superheroes. Mixing pirate action, superpowers, and mutant stories would make this game super fun and totally different from anything else out there. Number 4, Ant-Man and the Wasp, 2018. Ant-Man Ant-Man and the Wasp might not be the first Marvel story people think of for a video game, but it would actually make a super fun one, especially if it's made by a studio like Hazelight, who made games like It Takes Two. They're really good at making games where two people have to work together, which would be perfect for playing as Ant-Man, Scott, and the Wasp, Hope. Players could shrink and grow to solve puzzles, fight enemies, and explore the super weird quantum realm. The levels could be totally wild. Like one moment you're fighting a giant monster, and the next you're tiny and battling a squirrel in someone's backyard. You'd have to use teamwork and brain power to figure out puzzles, and the shrinking powers would make each level feel different and exciting. This game would be great for families or friends to play together. It would be funny, smart, and full of superhero action, without being too silly or too serious. Number 3. Thor God of Thunder. Number 1. God Butcher Saga. Out of all the Thor characters in the movies, Gorr the God Butcher had the most wasted potential. But if he got his own video game, kind of like God of War, it could totally fix that. The God Butcher story is one of the best Thor stories ever, and it would make an awesome game full of big battles, crazy worlds, and a really deep story. Players could go on a huge adventure with Thor, traveling through time and space, from ancient Iceland to a dark future, to stop Gorr and his giant weapon called the God Bomb. The game would be full of fast action and huge boss fights, but it wouldn't just be about fighting. It would also explore big ideas like faith, power, and what it means to be a god. You'd even get to play as different versions of Thor from different times, each with their own problems and cool moments. The choices you make could change the story, making the journey feel personal. This game could show fans the awesome side of Gorr that the movies didn't, and finally give him the spotlight he deserves. Number 2. World War Hulk 2007. There have been some Hulk games before, but none of them really showed how awesome the World War Hulk story is. This game could totally fix that. It would be a crazy, action-packed game, kind of like Doom, where Hulk is super angry and ready to smash everything in his way. After being sent away from Earth and becoming a hero on a planet called Sakaar, Hulk comes back to Earth to get revenge, and players would get to be part of all that destruction. The game could let you roam around smashing stuff, take on missions, and battle famous Marvel heroes like Iron Man and Doctor Strange. You'd have huge boss fights, tear down buildings, and face waves of enemies, all while showing just how strong and unstoppable Hulk really is. The fighting would be big, loud, and super fun, way better than any Hulk game before. With awesome graphics and breakable cities, this would be the kind of game that lets you feel like a real monster hero who can't be stopped. Number 1. Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier story is one of the coolest in the Marvel universe, and it would make an awesome video game. Bucky Barnes isn't just Captain America's old friend, he's also a secret assassin who worked for Hydra, and his story is full of mystery and action. A game about him could be kind of like Metal Gear Solid, where players sneak around on secret missions and change big moments in history, like the JFK assassination or the Watergate scandal, but with a Marvel twist. Players would use stealth to sneak into secret bases and carry out missions, all while Bucky starts to remember who he really is. The story would be deep and emotional, showing how Bucky struggles with his past and tries to make things right. As the game goes on, players would learn more about how he was brainwashed and what the Cosmic Cube has to do with everything. There could even be a final battle against Captain America himself. The choices players make could change the ending, letting them help Bucky become a hero again, or not. It would be a game full of action, secrets, and second chances. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more.